Hike. So I'm excited to have Mark Kozak here in the studio, the Executive Director for the Telluride Science Research Center. So before we get started on the Science Research Center, tell me a little bit about how you ended up here in Telluride. And
Well, I moved here. Well, I started coming here in 2008, and then essentially I moved here for love. I moved here to marry my wife, who was living here at the time. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And you've been here since 2008, or when did you move?
I moved full time. I was commuting back and forth between Boulder for 2 years, and then in 2010 I moved full time and basically did a bunch of consulting work in sustainability and energy remotely from here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how'd you get involved in the Telluride Science Research Center? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, so the job for executive director came up in 2015, and I applied for it and was hired. So that's kind of how I got started.
Well, tell us what the Telluride Science Research Center is and what it does. I think a lot of people are familiar with the name, but maybe not exactly what's going on.
Right, yeah. And, the other way that people often refer to us is TSRC, but obviously Telluride Science Research Center spells it out more. So what we do is we help scientists and engineers collaborate on new ideas and common research challenges. And so essentially they come here and they meet in kind of a think tank setting.
Yeah.
So they meet in groups of around 25 scientists, and it's all invitation only. So and what's very exciting is each year we host about 1,300 scientists across 500 international and domestic institutions.
And is that throughout the summer?
Yes, it is mainly throughout the summer, although we do host workshops in the winter and the fall, but a lot of that is limited to our access to programming space. And actually, we're in the process of buying the depot from AHA School for the Arts.
Exciting.
And that will allow us to operate year-round. Yeah. So just to continue on what TSRC is all about, so these scientists, they're coming here to talk about new ideas. And their work really is across a broad spectrum of science and technology, everything from biomedical research, cancer, Alzheimer's, to energy, solar panels, to batteries, to conducting electricity and other storage.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work in new materials and also work in environmental and atmospheric science and climate science and that stuff. So
you said that it's invitation only. How do you decide which scientists get to come here?
So our organization is really a scientist organization that started in 1984. Okay. And since 1984, we've hosted about 570 meetings with over 14,000 scientist visits. Okay. So these scientists, basically it has grown organically. So these scientists, they propose workshop ideas to the board and to the scientific programming committee. So we don't solicit new ideas. It all comes from our network, which is about 5,000 scientists in total.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And so you said that 25 come at a time usually. Do you do that different, this week is going to be solar panels, that week is going to be...
Well, sometimes, that's the size of their meeting, but, during the summer, we'll have about, these days, we'll have about 225 scientists per week.
Wow.
And, across, let's see, that would be 9 meetings per week. And that's ideally what we need to do is, right now we're sort of confined because we rent the schools in the summer, and we'll continue renting the schools as additional space, but we need to spread our season across
and be able to do
a bigger
it
part
year-round.
of but also like our main season consists of 50 meetings, and so we need to spread that across the summer to make it a more intimate environment for collaboration and communication, and that's really what we're doing. And to me, what's very exciting as a community member is that we're exporting science from Telluride.
pretty
Science
fascinating.
that's changing the world, and we don't export a lot of things from Telluride. We export beer and good memories, and
Yeah.
but we're also
Pretty pictures.
yeah, we're also as a community making a big impact on the world.
And that seems to be part of Telluride's history as well.
yeah.
So it's kind of cool that you're forging along with this new building that's also historic. And tell us about the new building that you'll be getting.
Okay, so we're going to purchase the depot, and we're going to restore and renovate it. But what we're going to do is we're going to put the depot into a trust so that it remains a community resource. And we also want to share it with other organizations in the community, particularly ones that have a focus on science and technology or STEM education. And we're in a capital campaign right now, and it's going really well. And one of the things that our donors want, that we want to give them, is they want to see even more science programming, particularly programming that is accessible to the public. And so with that, we're going to create the Telluride Science and Innovation Center and create actually a new nonprofit entity that collaborates with all the science and technology organizations in town and helps to curate more programming. Because, our bandwidth is somewhat limited, and we want to be able to also, we very much are supportive of this idea. Telluride has this incredible history of science and innovation between Nikola Tesla, Westinghouse. They tested the internet here in 1993, public access to the internet. That's where they did the pilot worldwide, and then held an international telecom symposium in 1994 to discuss how do you deliver the internet to the public in the world.
Yeah.
And then
that's really exciting. You guys are charging ahead with all of this new innovation and still in the same space and speaking to our history, which is awesome and fascinating.
So it will be a great meeting place for developing new ideas and moving society forward.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us about it, Tate. We appreciate it.
All right. I really appreciate it. Thank you.